Today we're going to talk about a subject that nobody wants to talk about, and that is healthy eating. Some people call it dieting. We really don't like to position it that way, but there's a few things that almost everybody should look at, and especially diabetics should get down cold. So we put together a little program, and we basically think that there's 3 primary steps that everyone can do and really make some big changes. When we're dealing with diabetes, we're talking about an excess of blood sugar that the body can handle. So there's the pre-diabetes, which we like to think is metabolic syndrome or syndrome X in the day. So basically, we're talking about a lifetime habit that has basically overwhelmed the sugar receptors in all the cells. So the first rule of all of this, and it is a rulesy kind of a thing, is called GPS. And we want to eliminate or mitigate grains, potatoes, and starches. And so GPS, it's easy to remember. And all of those things are complex carbohydrates. They're starches that basically set us up to have too much sugar in our system. And what that is, it's a paleo type diet. We never liked the strict diets. Actually, we don't like any of the strict diets for most people. Everybody's a combination of different things. So a modified paleo diet where you're eating a lot more proteins and a lot less sugars is probably the way to go. So like most things that really matter and almost all biochemistry, the devil's in the detail. So what we want to do is we want to slow down the speed at which sugar or which carbohydrates are being converted to sugar. So that word is called glycemic index, and there's a target. We want to target a 40% glycemic index. You can take any food and add fat and fiber and slow down the speed at which it's converted to sugars. Starches, remember, are complex sugars, so they're really just dehydrated sugars. So when you add water to a starch, it's a bisugar, so it creates 2 sugars. So a thing like a white piece of bread of, bleached flour has a glycemic index of almost 100. A thing like celery has a glycemic index of almost 0. So when we're looking at that, fiber will save you and fat will save you. So when we're looking at our meals, if you add avocado to your sandwich, it's going to do a lot better. And mayonnaise is better than nothing. And the schmear on the bagel will actually help the glycemic index. So some of this is not what you've been doing and not what we all sort of think is common sense in quote unquote dieting. When we eliminate the simple sugars and we add the healthy fiber and fats, what happens then is the body begins to be way more satisfied. Something called leptins are developed, especially by fats. And so you're way more satisfied from your food. The next concept I want to introduce is that of a 4-day fast. Now, this is not your fast where you're just having water and you're having no food and it's a total deprivation state. This is a fast with a very specific goal in mind, and that is to stop running on stored glucose or glycogen, which is in your liver, and you have a couple pounds of that, and run on your stored fat. So it's like switching a big switch from sugar to fat. When you're doing this, you're going to eat about 500 to 800 calories. In my case, I use duck broth, and we kind of make it into like a soup. And if there's a piece of meat or something that's a complex protein, I'm going to put that in there. But I'm going to try to keep to about 500 calories. When I do that, the first couple of days, my body will go into kind of an automatic, kind of a craving for food. You'll chew when there's no food, and you'll just sort of think about food. But after that, your body goes into something called ketosis. And ketosis is when you're burning fat. For many people, it gives a mental clarity, and it's kind of a euphoric feeling. So that 3rd day is really the payday. Then the 4th day, you're really burning your own fat. So people have been known to lose 5 pounds a week doing it this way. You do the fast every other week for a few months, and what we will see is like this gradual ratcheting down. When you end the 4-day fast, you're hungry, you have to watch not going too far. So I invite you to kind of take another look, go beyond the medical model, and take some control in your own blood sugar.